What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. How y'all doing out there on this Saturday? What's left of the Sabbath, that is. I hope y'all doing well. Okay, I'm doing good myself, and this is just a second installment of To the Black Sector of YouTube. We are being watched. Okay, and what it is a collaboration of pictures that I've taken on my daily, dwellings while I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm driving, and if I see something that's out of the ordinary, well, what I'll do is actually, whip my cell phone out and I'll take pictures of it. All kinds of collaborations of pictures, mostly of the sky, the trees, bushes. I mean, anything that I can see, even in my own home, that I can see, basically spirits on. Now, the thing is with this is some of them could be angels. Some of them could be demonics, demons, I don't know. I'm not really sure about that. Some of them I can look at and kind of tell I do believe are actual demons, okay? And what have you. Now, this particular one right here, he could be, but I doubt it. Somehow I doubt it. I believe this is actually an angel that was hovering in the air that I took this picture on just Monday while I was out driving along, and everything. I was sitting at a stoplight waiting for it to change, and again, I make sure, I look around, look up in the sky and stuff, and I saw him, I saw him. Now, he's not the only one up there. There's him. Where his light at, here's his eyes. And where you see one of them, you see a lot of other ones, okay? And everything. It's this one over here. This big one right here. His eyes. Is this one right here. His eyes right here, forehead. And then his long nose, okay? Or whatever. Now, some of you may see them, some of you may not, okay? But, nevertheless, they are there, okay? What have you. Now that I got that part out of the way, oh man, it's like this. There's all kinds of shit that's going down. There's all kinds of shit that's happening on this planet. That's just not. It's not right. Nothing but wickedness. But the Father warned us that these things will happen. He told us in His Word. Yeah, He told us that. The enemy's going to have. He's going to be at the forefront. Doing all of this, causing all of this. You got dumbasses, billion and trillionaires like Bill Gates, that think he's going to block out Yahuwah's son. The God of gods who made the entire universe. The entire universe. Who hung the sun, the moon, the air, did all of that. And this dumb motherfucker that thinks that he think he gonna set himself up above God, but then again, his maker, Satan himself, was the first to even have that spirit. So naturally his children would have it, okay? That envious, satanic ass spirit that wants to set yourself up, above your maker, or whatever, Well, not only that, you got child molesters, child murderers, rapists. You got children, killing their parents. I even seen, a story where a 9-year-old shot his mom to death. Okay, killed her. I saw another story where young lady, killed her mother, choked her to death. Like she died from asphyxiation, as it said, and set the house on fire to make the authorities or what have you think that woman died, in the fire. You know. Oh man, just and another bastard who he was his girlfriend's daughter that he killed and lied and said some Mexicans did something or whatever, and they just found evidence that of the little girl's blood in his apartment. You know what I mean? That he actually did it. The list goes on. I'm gonna tell you something. If I had one penny for all of the wickedness that's going on in this country, shit, I wouldn't have to work. I wouldn't have to work. One penny, I said. The list goes on and on. This whole entire planet, and I'm talking about this country, just alone, is just over flooded with wickedness, perversion. So much to where the Father says himself, your sins is reached to the highest heavens and they stink. It stinks, And these dumbasses who's doing all of these things, don't realize. They don't realize that these things are watching. They are watching. That's what they're here for. This is what they're here for. They are watching. You see? See? Just eyes. Above his. And that's how they, when you see one, you will see the other. Faces within faces. This is how they do it. I think really is magnificent, man. I looked up and I seen this. When you are rooted, in the spirit is rooted in you. The Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, that's the word in Hebrew. You don't worry about things like this. You know what it is. These things right here just don't bother you. They don't scare you. Because you know what it is. Matter of fact, it's more uplifting to know that the manifestations of God's word is prevailing itself. When I see things like this right here, this giant joker right here peeping out of the clouds, just looking all majestic and, full of power. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know what's coming. This is the manifestation of the holy word of the Most High. That's what it is. Okay? So all of these low-life, reprobate, scumbag ass... I can't even think of words, to describe these. I can't think of low enough words, you know what I mean, to describe these pieces of shit. That's even too good. That's doing all these things. You think you getting away with it? You know what I mean? And like I said early on in the conversation, I said, I don't know if some of them angels, and I don't know if some of them are demons. But some of them I do believe that do be demons, because you can look in their eyes and you can see. And some of them look like maniacs, and everything. But I do know this. Whoever these things right here come across, when the Father allows them to have their way to clean up, the earth, whatever, whoever they come across and get at, I'm going to tell you this, they going to think they demons. They're going to think it. You can rest assured of that shit. Oh, yeah. See? And they coming. See? Now, I'm going to show you guys, we're going to get in some more pictures right here. I just wanted to pretty much show y'all this particular one right here. And if you get a chance, check out the first video that's basically, showing some of the same things, called "To the Black Sector of YouTube, We Are Being Watched." That's the name of it. That was the reason why I came on YouTube in the first place, to start doing videos, because I want to warn my people, if you know what I mean. I want to warn my people. That's why I did it. But some of our people don't want, well, I don't want to see nothing like this. And then, well, regardless if you want to see it or not, you are going to have to deal with this. You're going to have to deal with it. See? That's just the way it is. I'm sure some of those people back a long time ago, when in the days of Noah, in which, by the way, it says, so shall it be in the days of Noah. I mean, the way it was in the day of Noah, it's going to be in the end times. Here we are. Here it is. This is prophecy manifesting itself. But those people, it was a lot of those people saying the same things back in those times when they were being warned. Well, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see this. I don't want to know this. I don't want to know that. Okay, well, the Father said he's sending a flood, to get rid of all this abominable thing, the acts and all this and sin, and not to mention the monstrous giants that was roaming the earth at that time. That's mainly why he sent that flood too, to get rid of them. Because them damn things were so damn evil. Evil is, they were the epitome of the word. That's why I know a lot of them, I see their souls that I see, that I have pictures of. A lot of them are of those giants. I'm well aware of that. That's their souls. That's wondering because they can't get into heaven. They were, doomed to dwell here on earth. That's what it is. And what have you. So let's check out some more pics. Let me get back over here. Y'all bear with me a little bit. My computer's slow. Okay. Like, for example, I don't know where to even start. I got so many of them. Okay, look. This particular one right here. Okay. One early morning, could have been about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I was out. I was getting off of work. And I was sitting in the car. It was cold. And so I was letting the car warm up a little bit. And there's a parking lot, right? And right over in here ain't nothing but a field. A field, okay? But I could see these little faces and stuff. And then, I kept looking and ran up on this dude right here, okay? Now let me bring him in close because he's the most prominent one that you can see. More so than the ones that's just in the darkness and the shadows, but you can see the eyes and their noses and stuff like that. See, but let me bring it up close so you can study this one a little bit, okay? Now, naturally, y'all can see that. Hopefully it's not as dark, for you, after I post it, because on my phone it's a little dark. Let me see if I can get it in closer. There he is. See that? See his forehead right here? And his eyes, little almond twisted shape eyes. Nothing but evil. And his old long, crooked, crooked, long nose. We're just sitting there watching. It's just sitting there watching. See, but that's what they do. They just sit there and they watch. And of course, whatever they got on their mind, whatever. That's the reason why it's important to be, how can I say it? It's important to be under the Father in the name of Yehoshua. You understand what I mean? Because if you don't, it's stuff like this will get in. It can even get into you and make you do heinous things to somebody. And then once they leave your body, or to yourself, once they leave your body, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be there to, left to explain, why did you do this heinous act? A lot of those kind of cases are happening. Okay. A lot of this shit, some of the things I named, who knows, a lot of demonic spirits, could have been inhabited these people to do it. But there's always got to be a threshold of evil in a person first for any demonic spirit to inhabit their bodies, to make them do, crazy things. And I'm going to tell y'all this right now. One of the thresholds of evil is number one, envy. Okay, envy, not jealousy. Don't get it twisted, because a lot of people think Jealousy is, a bad spirit. But let me tell you something. No. The Father, Yahuwah, said, I am jealous over my children. Do you know what that means? He said that he was jealous over his children because he didn't want his children worshiping other gods. And around that time, they were doing that back then. A lot of that before God sent, the flood, they was worshiping them monstrous ass giants and all that kind of stuff, giving their babies to them for sacrifices, and the monsters, they ate the babies and all that kind of stuff. Okay? See? Yeah. So jealousy, and also jealousy is like, okay, if you married and if you a man, you don't want your wife going after another man. You married and you're a woman, you got a husband, you don't want your husband chasing another woman. So then what it is, jealousy is a justified emotion. If God is that way, it's justified. But let me tell you about envy. See, envy's a whole total different animal. Envy is when the Father said he made Hasatan, and to those who don't know that name, that's the devil, that's Satan, that's Lucifer. Okay, and he made him the full pattern. He said that he made him the best looking, and he gave him everything, right? Until he found iniquity. Okay, which we know iniquity is sin, okay, in him. But that main sin was in him was envy, okay? That's what it was. It was envy. He said he was going to set his kingdom up above the Most High God himself, and he was going to get the people to worship him. You know why he did that? Because he envied his maker. So what that tell you? Envy is an unjustified emotion. Envy is the type that's confused to be jealousy. Like, for example, if you buy a new car or a new home and you got somebody like a family member, you understand what I mean, smiling in your face, oh, this is nice. And then until they get tired of faking and shit like that, and you start hearing things about shit they talking about you, and they mad as fuck because you bought some with your own money. That's envy. Okay? It could be anything. All right? Matter of fact, Satan was so envious that he left his place of habitation. You understand? In habitation, his place of habitation and the rest of the angels that followed him was heaven. It was heaven. All right? He came down here, you understand, and tricked God's first 6-day creation. The first people, which, by the way, what y'all call black people. There was no other race on this planet but black people. Okay? But Satan came down here and he saw, as they say, the women was fair. Fair ain't got nothing to do with color. Fair got something to do with being fine. The women was fine. They was fine, beautiful. That's what fair means. And he went right and put his Mac down on who is called Eve, where she sinned against her husband and brought about the first situation of baby mama drama. Okay? That's what it was. That's what it was. And out of that unholy union came Cain. All right? Cain, which was of that wicked one, Satan, Hasatan, the devil himself. Right? That's what that was all about. Now, Eve went back to her husband. Now, it is sad. Y'all gonna have to do y'all research on this situation right here. Deep research. But it is said that a woman can get pregnant on top of a pregnancy. Now, she went back to her husband and she had another son on top of that pregnancy named Abel. Remember Cain and Abel? See? That was Adam's son, so-called Adam. You know these names and stuff like that. Their names wasn't really Adam and Eve, but we don't really know what their name was. But so we call them, you know, the ones who infiltrate the Bible, you know what I mean, change things up and all that. And by the way, this stuff is true. Don't let nobody tell you it's not, because you got a lot of people running around talking about don't believe that. Let me tell you something. Anytime you can start seeing the things that I'm showing you, like in this picture right here, you can start seeing things like this and what have you. Yeah, don't listen to nobody talking about what's true and what's not true, okay? When it comes to God's word. But, yeah, his name was Abel, and, okay, she had both of those children. She had Cain first, and she continued in labor, and then there was Abel, okay? And I'm sure y'all know the rest of the story about Cain and Abel and how Cain hated his brother. But remember, God said he was going to put in enmity between the devil's seed, Satan's seed, the serpent seed. In other words, he's got so many names, evil bastards, you know. And the woman's seed. Well, the serpent seed, even though it came from the woman, but the serpent seed was Cain. Cain killed his brother Abel, which was the woman's seed, okay? Came from her. Well, the woman and Adam's seed. He killed him. Do you know why? Because what it was that the father, you know, how can I say? He always, you know, wanted like worship. And Abel, excuse me, people, whenever Abel would go and get some to offering, you know, to the Most High, it was his best. It was his best and everything, you know. And the Most High favored Abel for doing that, right? Well, Cain, that bastard would go get anything. He didn't care, you know what I'm saying? He'll offer to everyone his best and whatever, but he didn't like Cain. The Most High didn't. See? Well, Cain hated Abel because he was favored by the Most High. Just like with Jacob and Esau, the same damn thing. It's the same thing. Okay, basically. He hated him. Right? What does Cain do? That hate was envy. And we know where he got it from. His father Hasatan, Satan himself. That's where he got it from. What does he do? He killed his brother, his half-brother, whatever you want to call it, Abel. Yeah. Now, what y'all going to do, you know, some of y'all going to be like, oh, no, that ain't the way it went. Or some of you are, okay, well, I tell you what. Look at him. Gee. You do your own research. You do your own research, and then when you come to where the truth, you'll see for yourself. But no, jealousy is a justified emotion, and envy is of the devil himself. Okay? Don't let nobody tell you different. Let's get into some more pics. Okay, here's a good one. I want y'all to see this one. They hang in the trees. They hang out in the trees. Let me bring this one in close. They waiting for the day when the Father says, you know, turn them loose. And on that day, you want to be saved. You know, you want to be where, you know, and that's going to be the day after the Antichrist show up, claiming to be who he's not. All right. And when he shows up, that's when these things are going to be loosed. Okay, this one right here, the prominent one right here, him. You can see his eyes, his long nose, right here, you know, his cheeks and his face, hanging around in trees. Now there's other ones. There's other ones around him like him. Big, huge things. Okay. Then you got this one over here. You know, always follow the eyes. Anytime you follow the eyes of stuff, you know, of a face, the rest is going to fill in. Okay. And his eyes faces within faces. You have 3 or 4 or 5 faces make up one. That's how they hang out on the real. But that's going to be the day that when everything just gets bad, you know what I mean, and these monsters are released, and the devil's going to want you to worship him, and it's going to come with that mark of the beast, that chip and all that stuff. Check out, that video I made about, the chip. Don't get the chip and everything. That's the reason why you got to be saved by the Most High, because he's going to save you from this. But he shortened it that time from 5 years, I think, to 5 months. Okay, because he said if he hadn't did that, no flesh would be saved. Now, the thing is, when we talk about being saved, we talk about spiritually being saved from not going to hell, burn in hell spiritually. Okay, no. Well, when these monsters are loose, he said no flesh. That means when these monsters are loose, they're going to be eating people asses up. And asses, people, what have you, that's flesh right there. That's what this is. That's what it is. Flesh. That's what they coming for. That's what they did before they died in the flood, or however well else they died, because, they hung out in groups. They had gangs and stuff, and they killed off, they had rival giants and stuff like that, and they warred and rivaled against too. Some of them died in battle from other giants. Not to mention the ones that the Father sent, I think it was Seth and Caleb and the rest of them, over there in the land of Canaan, when he told them to go in to possess that land, but they were afraid because they said there was giants over there. So they didn't want to go, But the one, as Seth and Caleb that went over there, well, they took care of business, and because they did what the Father said. And they was blessed. Here's another one right here. This is another one that I took right here, and I looked up, and I could see this long, well, it's his eyes right here, and another little face up here, just protruding out of the sky. And if you look at it, it looks just like something like a long wolf face thing slash human being, because he's got all these eyes over here. But I'm going to show you the main 2 eyes, which is basically here and here, but you got 2 eyes in between there, and his long nose, which is another face right there, and his whole entire muzzle, which is another face, going up, and it's like a K9 human mix. Well, when Satan and his angels left a place of habitation and landed on Mount Hermon, that's what it's called, Mount Hermon. There's other names for it too. When they came down, they not only spread their seed to women, the fair ladies, the beautiful, fine black sisters that was roaming the earth. Man, let me digress a little bit. Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to tell you something. A woman's got to be something else, so much to the fact that an angel would lust. And I'm telling you, lust and come here and commit an abomination. She's got to be something that, I'm telling you, the Most High knew what he was doing when he gave brothers woman. When he gave the brothers a woman. I'm telling you. It's the most beautiful creation, on the planet. There's nothing better. It's just that in some, everything got things got messed up. I'm going to just say that. And it took what was supposed to be meant a kingdom for us as a people. It just messed things up. But we're going to get back. Once the Father restore things back for us as a people in the way it's supposed to be, it's going to go back to the way it was. And this nightmare of life, as we know it, will never happen again. Let's just put it like that. It'll never happen again. Not ever. Okay? I was driving down the road. Let me see on this one. Okay? And you can see this big long one right here. Face just laying in the air. And some of them, just like this one, you can see his just face just laying on the air. And look like he's shouting. Now I'm going to tell y'all something. I see him, but I don't want to hear him. I don't want to hear him like that. You know what I mean? But if the Father gives me the ability to hear him, I'm sure I can handle it, because he did say he will never put nothing on his children that they can't handle. So see, I always, know that. I always, basically put things back to scripture, to his word, in my life. See, that's what it is. I see them moving, and their spirits look like little vapor, their souls. And you won't really see how they look like unless sometime I can see them, how they look while they hovering, just in mid-thin air. But you won't see a lot of times what they look like until they land on something. Towels and, oh man, like this, for example. See this carpet? Let me bring them up. Okay. Again, there's all kinds of faces. Right here, there's eyes here. Right here. Remember how I said how they hang out? But this big one right here. See. Luke chapter... Luke chapter 21, verses 25 and 26. Signs and wonders in the air. Okay? That's verse 25. And 26 is things coming up on this earth that will cause men's hearts to faint or fail after looking upon them. These are the things that the Bible, the word of the Father, is telling you about. Because, okay, you can see these things in the spirit. That's one thing, okay, in the spirit. And looking at them on here, and they are frightening just looking up on as it is, okay? Now, to see these things in a body, you understand what I mean? I can assure you, when it says, the word says, verse 26 says, would cause a man heart to faint after looking upon. Faint means heart attack. They scare the shit out of you. That's all that means. That's what it is. See? Here's another one that was in a bush, just staring out. Just staring out. There he is. Now there's all kinds of, like I said, collaborations of faces. They're everywhere. But this main one right here, if y'all can see it. Y'all make sure for the ones, that's not, I'm talking to the 2/3. Y'all better get y'all shit together and get saved, because this ain't no joke. This is for real right here. This is not no joke. This ain't nothing to play about. This ain't nothing to laugh off. This is real right here. This is real. Y'all better get the Most High in your life. You better start praying with fear and trembling. All that, you better start meditating on his word and all of that. You better put down these vain and wicked things that you're doing. You see, because something coming for you. So that's why I say all these little races doing all that shit. The joke is on their ass. Believe that. Trust and believe. I can assure you, I can guarantee you, the joke is on their ass, because a lot of them don't know nothing about this right here. But the Father enabled me and other people like me that see to tell and warn. There's a lot of us down here doing this. A lot of us. Now, here's a picture right here. It was dark when I took the picture. I don't know if y'all going to be able to see, but right across the street of my neighbor's house right here. Man, he has a lot of pictures. A lot of spirits over there. And they come over and they just stare and they look over at, they be looking directly, over at me. you know, when I be taking the pictures. But they watch. That's what they do. And this is a collaboration. This is two big faces, an eye right here and an eye right here. They actually sharing an eye. See? Let me see if I can bring it in closer. Because sometimes you enlarge it, it'll go out of the frame, like, and then you won't see it anyway. See? See that? Long bull looking face. And you got him. Now, I took these pictures side by side just yesterday. And on the other picture that I said, those faces basically wasn't formed. They wasn't there. Here's another one. They had switched up that quick. These are the ones I took side by side. See, it's a little different. See, you can see them, but the faces are different. Side by side. I had more pictures when I first started seeing these things. And I'm telling you, I took pictures over. This is where, you know, I was getting a lot of them at. Well, let me bring this in a closer. I think I can get this one. He's not in the other picture I just took. This one right here, big one right here. Them, they not in it. They just formed in. They formed into this one, but they're not in the other one that I took. Right up in here. But when I started taking these pictures, I seen all kinds of stuff over there. But they cut the trees down. There was a big one. He had horns, you know, just hanging out over here. Then there was a floating. That damn dog looked like it was a spirit of a dog. And it looked just like those pit bull mastiffs or some mix. Big bow-legged monsters looking thing. And it was just hovering right over here. You know. Like I said, you know, I think it's rather amazing myself. I do. I want to make sure I get some of the other ones in that I wanted y'all to see. There's so many of them I have. I was getting off of work on this one night. What's going on? Uh-oh. Look like my computer done did something. Hang on, y'all. Let me see. I gotta do something. Hang on. Okay, y'all. I'm back. Evidently, you know, my computer froze. And just before that happened, I saw a mild light. Like a flash. A mild light. You know, a mild flashlight. Out the corner of my left eye. You know, is where it diverted my attention off, you know, what I was doing. And all of a sudden, like, you know, my computer froze. So, might be one of them. I don't know. But this was the picture that I was trying to click on. Right here. And I was getting off work one Friday night. And looked across the field. There's a highway over here, you know, and I decided to just go ahead and take some pictures, you know, and I'm gonna bring this up as close as I can because it's like when you bring them up too, it'll get out of, you know, frame. Like that's close as I can get it.